Chapter 041 Opportunity Amidst Peril. Fang Han had known from the start that following Fang Xianxia into the underground to cultivate would be extremely dangerous. But he had never expected it to be this brutal, this menacing. The army of fiends gathered beneath the towering demon god altar in the distance was powerful enough to topple kingdoms and raze cities. Thousands upon thousands of yikshaws, with flying yikshaws circling the skies above. Even a master who had stepped into the mystic ability realm would be hard-pressed, and could easily lose their life right there. Killing just 12 yikshaws had left Fang Han nearly gasping for breath, exhausted. If he had not broken through to the 9th layer of the mortal body, the spirit-channeling realm, and relied on the sharpness of his blade and the invulnerability of his ritual robe, he would likely have already been injured. But now, there were fully thousands of yikshaws before him. Worse still, there were flying yikshaws. Defeating even a single flying yikshaw would be incredibly difficult for him, unless he used his flying sword. But even if he resorted to his flying sword, such a horde of fiends would tear him to pieces before he could cut them all down. By his own calculation as a spirit-channeling cultivator, if more than 200 yikshaws swarmed him at once, he would be ground to nothing, blown apart bone and all. Should I hide, or... Staring at the distant demon god altar from afar, Fang Han mused to himself. The altar stood tall and towering, higher even than the largest furious dragon tower in Long Yuan City. It was built from countless blood-red boulders, and at its center stood a demonic statue close to 8 men tall. Its gaze swept across the entire underground plane, radiating endless, boundless pressure, its aura so eerie and mysterious that it struck cold fear into the deepest depths of one's soul. Beneath this demon god statue stood several figures. One was shrouded in wolf smoke, none other than serious little immortal Unwilling. Among the others, one seemed to be a woman. But the most eye-catching of all was a fiend that was not quite human. It bore an incomparably handsome face, looking just like a young man, but its lower half was exactly the same as a flying yikshaw's, with a pair of wings growing from its back. Aside from its head, its body was extremely large, as if it wore a suit of armor that did not fit. A human head, the body of a flying yikshaw. All yikshaws, ordinary and flying alike, had green faces and protruding fangs, nothing remotely human. Fang Han knew at a glance what this was, an Asura, a fiend of extremely high standing among the earth demons. Above Asura came Greater Asura, and above Greater Asura came the Demon Emperor. An Asura standing in the underground realms was equivalent to that of a true disciple among cultivators. A Greater Asura's standing matched that of an elder. A Demon Emperor's standing matched that of a supreme sect leader. An Asura had a head identical to a human's, and extremely high intelligence. Their cultivation progressed at an astonishing rate too. If they advanced one step further to the Greater Asura level, all the scales on their body would recede, and they would turn fully human, possessing the same abilities as a mystic ability realm mastered. All this was recorded in detail in all realms, essential knowledge for Yuhua sect disciples to avoid falling prey to demonic fiends. Are these the people Yuhua sect is hunting this time? The Pink Prince is already dead by my hand, but Unwilling is still here, and there's also that pure fox sorceress, and an earth demon commander, an Asura. I am no match for them from here. It's best I hide. Fang Han settled on his plan. No need to hide. The fiend army has already sensed us. Yan's cold voice penetrated to the deepest depths of Fang Han's soul. Only then did Fang Han notice that Fang Xianxia had suddenly burst forth with intense purple light, bolts of electricity curling all around her, crackling and thunderous. The Enyang purple lightning serpent beside her let out a sharp, long cry. The intense sound, light, electricity and thunder, and her unmatched aura immediately shook the entire fiend army. It even revealed their position clearly to all the figures on the demon god altar dozens of li away. Suddenly, a bright light shot out from the demon god altar, illuminating every inch of the ground for several li around where Fang Han stood, every detail clear as day. Fang Han stood right in the center of the light, drawing the attention of the entire fiend army. This move exposed Fang Han's position completely. Damn it, Fang Xianxia may have boundless mystical power, but my strength is meager. Is she trying to get me killed? This isn't how you train someone. Do I really have to claw my life out from the jaws of death? Though Fang Han was shocked in his heart and could feel extreme danger closing in, he did not move a muscle. He held his ritual sword upright right before the tip of his nose, as still as an old monk in deep meditation, slipping into a state of serene absorption. Facing the tidal wave of the fiend army rushing toward him, Fang Han was instead as calm and still as a sleeping child. This made Xianxia, who hovered in midair, give a subtle start once more. A strange glint flashed in her eyes, and a flicker of unnoticeable appreciation appeared on her face. After all, remaining unflustered in the face of imminent death, keeping calm when disaster looms, this kind of mental state could not be forged by eating spiritual elixirs. It came from one's innate depth of character, that is, one's inborn root bone. Not bad. You already have the bearing of a true expert. The greater the danger, the more one's potential is drawn out. Every great expert must walk the edge of life and death countless times to temper their spirit until it is as sharp as a blade. If you can survive this certain death today, your cultivation will gain an immeasurable boost. Xianxia's voice carried into Fang Han's ear, but he still did not move a single inch, waiting for the fiend army to arrive. Xianxia, how dare you come alone to the underground demon god altar? Who gave you such audacity? Do you really think you can destroy the demon god altar with just your own strength? Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Far away on the demon god altar, Wang Molan, the serious little immortal, stood up abruptly. He shook the 7 calamities gourd, his treasure artifact, in his hand. Immediately, countless cutting winds sliced through the air toward them, and a wave of wolf smoke rolled and billowed, like galloping horses across the plains, charging straight at Xianxia. At this moment, Wang Molan showed no sign of injury at all. He looked nothing like the heavily wounded man who had been blasted into the river bottom 2 days prior, his flesh torn, his body engulfed in flames. He had clearly fully healed his wounds. Not even this mere demon god altar means anything. Sooner or later, I will go to the demon god sect myself and cross swords with the demon god. I will see just what kind of mystical prowess the legendary demon god possesses. Xianxia stood proud in the sky, a cold sneer on her face. She waved a hand casually, and her purple lightning Yin thunder blade crisscrossed through the air, forming 108 blade chi of the heavenly gangs and earthly fiends. The charging wolf smoke was cut to pieces, and the blade chi then sliced straight toward the demon god altar more than 20 or 30 li away. The raging thunder and lightning, the quaking Yin thunder, threatened to blast the massive altar apart completely and kill all the masters atop it, the Azura, Wang Molan, the pure fox sorceress, all of them. Slash! Slash! Several ferocious flying Xianxia soaring in the sky ran into Xianxia's blade chi and were cut clean in half midair. Their bodies burst into flame, they let out miserable screeches, and fell to the ground. Their massive essence blood exploded out, and they died a violent death. Flying Xianxias, creatures that even intersect disciples of Yuhua sect dreaded greatly, fiends that even ordinary spiritual artifacts could not kill reliably, could not even withstand a single casual blade chi from Xianxia. With this single strike from Xianxia, Fang Han below was completely surrounded by the fiend army. Hundreds and thousands of Xianxias could not reach Xianxia in the sky, so they naturally treated Fang Han as a tasty morsel, dying to tear a bloody bite out of him. Fang Han, this is dangerous, but it is also an opportunity. Every Xianxia you kill, I can absorb their blood spirit, store it in the Yellow Spring River, and temper the bodies of those 10 flying Xianxias, letting them break out of their cocoons and transform into Azuras. Yan's voice rang out once more. This is opportunity amidst danger.